welcome to another episode of Radio with Pictures in the Field from our Western Divisional Consultation. And we are here in Lautoka speaking to district leaders from Lautoka itself. Joining me at the table is Bonito Ngio. Bonito, good morning. How are you today?
Good morning. I'm very good, thank you.
And you represent the Pacific Rainbow Advocacy Network.
Yes.
How many members in your network?
We have approximately 60 members. This is mainly from Lautoka, Nandi, and Ba, and these are specifically marginalized, representing the marginalized community, specifically sex workers and LGBT.
Thank you, Bonita. And to Bonita's right is Shakuntla Parmal. Good morning, Shakuntla.
Good morning, ma'am.
Ma'am, you're an advisory councillor. For how many communities are you an advisory councillor for?
3 communities.
And what are they?
Barara, Bundabek Road, and Lomolomo.
And I understand that's a population of more than 2,000?
Yes, ma'am.
So that's a lot of people to be responsible for.
Yeah.
Thank you for being here today, Shakuntla. And finally, we have Inise Andiquila. Good morning, Inise.
Good morning, Alicia.
And you represent the Songo Wakamarama for Vunda, is that right?
Yes, that's right.
And how many members are part of that?
There are about 312, which involves 5 villages in the Vunda district.
5 villages in the Vunda district.
Yes.
So if you had to put a map, how far apart would those villages be?
Lomolomo is about 2 kilometers away. Lomolomo is about 2 kilometers away. Lawaki is about 4 kilometers. And Nyambadha is right in the interior of Tavakumbu, which is about 15 kilometers. And Namara Island is right the island near Waya level. We have to take the boat to go to Namara, which has 3 villages there.
So very geographically
Yes.
dispersed.
Yes.
And this is 15 kilometers from Lautoka city?
Yes.
Right. Okay, so we are representing a wide range of communities
range
and
of
population,
communities,
just
yes.
between the 3 of you here at the
Yes.
table. So we're talking about budget priorities for the 2017-2018 national budget, which will commence from, I believe it's July this year until August 2018. So at the table, I'd like us to talk a little bit about our budget or our development priorities. For you, Bonita, you said that you represent marginalized communities of LGBT and sex workers. What is the priority for your constituency when it comes to the budget?
Well, for me, since most of the members of my community are earning much lesser than the
national minimum wage?
Yes, than the national minimum wage. And most of them are in unstable jobs. For example, garment factories, furniture shops, and most of these very low-paid income jobs. So what I see in them is that their $80 to $90 weekly wages does not really help them with their livelihood at home. So I really feel that there is a need to increase the minimum wage to $4, because then they will be able to buy quality food, quality housing, and quality health service, and they can also be able to access better services with the money that they are earning. So this is basically the main priority for me and my community.
So right now the national minimum wage is $2.32 an hour,
Yes.
and you want it to be increased at
Yes,
least.
to $4.
So you were saying that to have this increase in their wages would mean that they can buy better food. What are the
Yes.
things that they're currently able to buy now? Is it cheaper processed food?
From my experience to coming from that field, I think what I was able to buy was mainly tin stuffs. And if I were to go to the market and buy vegetables, I wouldn't buy the quality ones. I had to wait maybe for about a few more hours towards the afternoon. when the prices go down, then I could afford the shredded vegetables.
So in the afternoon, is that after lunchtime? Is that 3 o'clock, 4
This is
o'clock?
around 4 to 5. Yes, these are when the vegetable price decrease because they put out the less quality ones, maybe.
Thank you, Bonita. That's really, really interesting. I'd like to come across to you, Inise, because we're talking about access to services, and I'm just thinking in my head about the communities that you represent on that island. What was the name of that island?
Namara.
Namara. So they have to catch a boat to get to the mainland.
They have to catch a boat to come to the mainland.
So what is the priority issue for your SSV Vunda?
Health issues. All the SRs are facing the same problem. We should have access to boat because they're very expensive to hire boat from the islands to the mainland. And now the cost of fuel is high, has been increased.
Yeah.
And I feel for the ladies on the island, they go fishing to get something for them to sell. And then when they come and sell them, they won't take back as much. And imagine they have to pay for the boat. And for pregnant women to come from the island, some give birth on the boat because boats are not everybody's things on the island. You have to hire a boat from somebody who has a boat, especially the fiber boats. They have to pay $70 to $80 one way. And
so where would they have to find that $70 to $80?
Some of the women have to ask relatives to foot for the boat fare. And these boats that come from Denarau, they cannot afford that because they are tourist boats. And they have to get from the island to Lautoka, not to Nandi, because Lautoka is their main station for services, especially Lautoka Hospital. And if the government can provide boats, especially for women, sick women, and they don't have services, asking the government to get midwives onto the island to help these pregnant women in their suffering.
Thank you, Inise. Shakuntala, listening to the health priorities and the infrastructure priorities from Bonita and Inise, what strikes you the most when you're listening to that? And are you hearing any similar issues for, the Vunda Backroad community, for example? What are the priority issues?
Yes, looking at Inise's contribution, I know that we are facing a lot of problem with the health services. In the Sai Health Center, we have a health center, but that caters for a wide vicinity. From Sambeto, even people coming from Singatoka, rural areas, they come and attend to our Sai Center, where they have to go and see the doctor. And the doctor is not available all the time. He has got a stated time that he will be around to see the patients. And people, especially the village ladies, they come, they take their numbers, go home, come back again to be seen by a doctor. And once they get a prescription, the drugs are not available. So they advise to go to Lautoka Central. Where they come here, they are sent to pharmacies because drugs is not only a Vizesi problem or Lautoka problem, but it's a nationwide problem. This is where we say that drugs are in shortage. But the government should do something to upgrade these medical facilities because this is affecting the public health.
So you're saying that government should be doing something, and I'm remembering how Kalawati from Nandi, she was saying, was it Kalawati or Timaima, saying that they needed more information. They went to government asking for help in terms of their health services, but then government said we need more information from the community. But I think my point, what I'm trying to say is, you are an advisory councillor, Shakuntala. So how can government be supporting more advisory councillors like yourself who have access to this information, who can then inform, district development priorities to look at the health centers in the district and say, we need more medicine here. What do you think needs to be done to get this issue addressed?
We have community health workers in our communities, especially in mine. Looking through Sai Health Center, we have got in Lautoka, in our vicinity, that the health workers are there. But these health workers, they only have got the pressure machine and the diabetes testing machine. But they don't go around with drugs. They don't have proper drug supply. What we are looking at, people don't know, they're not aware. There should be more training, more community meetings where they are trained. We do have nutritional cooking, what kind of food you should eat, the NCD's requirements. But looking at the diet, we should give them what is required for their life, good life, healthy life, practicing of backyard gardenings. This is what government should assist in getting this done. Apart from that, we, like in Inisai's village, they have got the problem of rise in sea level. Their village is low, their land cultivating areas are getting underwater most of the time and gets flooded. But these areas, if government can assist in getting other, I know it's a very difficult issue, it can't be taken right straight away, but some conditions of giving them farming practices, other ways of planting vegetables in pots or in other ways of making...
So very quickly, I want to come over to you, Inise. Thank you for raising that, Shakuntala. Your community is facing rising sea levels. But what are the strategies that the SSVM are implementing to overcome this?
We have raised issues with other women to have their backyard garden because of this high rise in sea level. And we have taken our issue with a village meeting about having another seawall around VCC village. But that's not enough. We've taken our issue with the Tikina meeting and they have raised it with the government. So we are glad the women have raised their issues with the Tikina and the provincial meeting. And they are concerned. The government have come down to see our seawalls which have been damaged by Cyclone Winston, and they have told us that they will come around to rebuild another seawall, which we are waiting for.
Have they given a date? Did they give a date at all?
No, they said maybe after the announcement of the budget, then they will come around again. But we are waiting. We are still knocking on their doors.
But I think maybe Bonita and Shakuntala, you might agree with me that through the hard work of women's organizations like the SSVM and them raising the issues of the community, they did something about it. Is that something that you would like to see, for example, Bonita, for your Pacific Rainbows Advocacy Network, something that can be replicated?
Yes. To me personally, I feel that women's participation in these spaces is very important. One, because most of these women, they are wives at home and they are the ones that see the daily struggle. They are the ones that facing the issues, period, every day. So when they are in these spaces, they are able to share their story from their perspective and how it affects them. And that is important in these spaces for the authorities to make the right decision. So I personally feel that women's participation in this budget consultation process is very important because they'll be able to prioritize what is the main priority area, what is the main need, what needs to be done first in order for other things to happen and get better.
And I think that's about resourcing, for example, government's commitments to gender equality, the national gender policy as well as the women's plan of action. So thank you very much, Bonita, Shakuntala and Inise, for joining me in this episode of Radio with Pictures in the Field. Thank you for watching.